Hey, what's up guys? So we are going to be doing a deck profile on GraveKeepers because I had a few requests for me to play this, and I'm not really too much of a fan of this deck. It's pretty linear. I mean, there's no like cool combos you can do that really like allow you to overextend and like make it game. But I do have some tech choices in here that I have not really seen anyone really playing GraveKeepers, but this is just my personal preference. I do have some cards in the side deck that you can decide to main deck if you wish to do that, but let's go over the deck and I'll explain my choices. So first off, Darkharm Dragon. Now, one thing to note is you will not be able to use Darkharm's effect when Necrovalley is out, but I feel like you can get Darks really easy in this deck, and Darkharm just allows you to get that early advantage on the game if you don't have Necrovalley. But if you already have Necrovalley on board, I've noticed a lot of time once your opponent activates one Solemn Warning, and if you have the play, which is basically just Spy, because all you really need is Spy, and then you flip to get Descendant, and then you can just drop a Darkharm. If they've already used one Solemn Warning, you can just game them right there. That literally is just basically a Darkharmed with an addition of just one Spy. So it allows you to kind of overextend if you wish to do it. And I run double Starlight Road in my build, so it allows me to overextend without having to really worry about any back row really, and I just feel like Darkharm, it just helps because he's also 2800. Gravekeepers do have a little bit of time getting over larger monsters, especially because I personally do not like to play Assailant, just because I feel like sometimes you just don't need him. Like you want Spy, like you just pretty much go for Spy whenever you can, and then Spy gets you Descendant, and Descendant deals with anything that you really don't like. I don't feel it's necessary to play Mystical Space Typhoon, but that's because I play so much, I hate for the whole monster that my opponent can really get out. So yeah, I run a lot of stuff to get rid of monsters. But that said, Darkharm just allows you to finish off games, I feel like. Next up I play Birdman. It allows me to reset the Spy, which is pretty good. Also, I do like him because I can make Arcanite Magician, just because I require one tuner plus one or more non-tuner spellcaster type monsters. I also can, and very rarely will this ever happen, but I can use Levier if I do overlay with two Recruiters and then get back a Birdman and then make like Arcanite again. But yeah, you have a lot of room in the extra deck in this deck, so you can definitely play around with some cards. But yeah, I just like Birdman. It allows you to have a little bit more variety of what you can really go for, because GraveKeepers is a pretty linear deck. And then we play Triple Command because Necrovalley is basically what stops your opponent from really doing anything, and you want to have that as quickly as possible. Then I play Triple Descendant. I really feel like this is one of their best cards because it's one of those cards where it's just an out to pretty much any problematic card that you have to deal with. Plus under Necrovalley, he becomes 2000, so he's pretty good. And then Triple Recruiter, pretty standard, 1700, and then also 2000 defense. That's also a floater, basically. I think he's just insane. The only thing that I don't like with Recruiter is you can't search Spy, and that is why I'm playing Sangan. Sangan allows me to search Spy, and it also allows me to set Recruiter and set up for plays with the Descendant, because if I go Sangan and I search out a Spy, and then I set one card and I set Recruiter, they'll be like, oh, it's Spy. I'm not going to attack into it. I'm just going to wait. And then you'd be like, oh, it's cool. Next turn, let me summon my Descendant, pop one card, then I get my Recruiter's effect to search out whatever I want, and then I can still run over their monster if it is under 2000 attack. So I just really like Sangan. It allows me to search Spy realistically. The only targets I really go for are Spy and Recruiter, because Recruiter it lets me sit there with a monster and then go for another monster. But yeah, I really feel like Sangan is really good just because Spy is the most important card in this deck by far. Next up, we're at Spy, and I already mentioned she's pretty much the most important card. Like, if you open it with Spy, and you have, like, multiple back row, and either your opponent doesn't have Heavy Storm, or you have a Starlight Road, you're really set up to have a really decent, slow-paced game, unless your opponent somehow, OTKs you under multiple back row. It just really doesn't happen too often. But yeah, Spy's pretty much your go-to monster. If you duality, add Spy if you can, most of the time. And then I play one Malefic Stardust Dragon. Again, it just allows me to go for that extra push. Again, like I mentioned earlier, if your opponent warnings you once, and you can go flip Spy, get a Descendant, get Malefic Stardust Dragon out, you can kind of finish off the game kind of early. I've noticed that. Remember though, if you don't have Skill Drain out, then you can't really do the Malefic Stardust and push for game, because he's the only one that can attack, and there can only be one face-up Malefic. I did want to run multiples of these just because it was strong as far as like attack, and it also protected Necrovalley. But I ran into the problem with like Royal Tribute, where like I don't want to Royal Tribute myself when I have like multiple other monsters. Like for my other monsters that are not Gravekeepers, I only play these four. And pretty much from there, that's really about it. I mean, other than that, when I roll tribute, I'm pretty much okay with getting rid of whatever I want to get rid of. But as far as the spells, I'm playing Book of Moon just because I like to be able to reset Spy sometimes. It's just also nice. And also, keep in mind, it's best to have Spy in like an attack position. They'll attack over you with like, some 1900 attacker, and then you go chain Book of Moon, that resets your Spy, and they do not get to redeclare their attack because the number of monsters on the field has not changed, so they actually still have to commit through that attack. And yeah, you'll be really set to go. You'll flip Spy, get more pluses, and then they won't be able to get over Spy because Necro Valley plus Spy equals good luck getting over me for at least 2 turns, unless you want to use like a power card. But yeah, and then I play 1 Gravekeeper Stele. Basically, you add back Spy and like Descendant or Recruiter. It's just another one of those plus cards. This card is definitely really unfair with Royal Tribute, especially when you open up with multiple monsters. You can just add them back. You're perfectly okay with that. I'm gonna turn off the the sound here. Then we play Heavy Storm. I know it is Gravekeepers, but like, Heavy Storm is Heavy Storm. Like, I feel it's too good of a card. And I also play Reborn in mine, which a lot of people don't like to play in Gravekeepers. I feel like this card literally is just too good not to play. Sure, if Necro Valley is there, you can't use it, but the thing is, if Necro Valley is on the field and it hurts their deck, you're pretty much set up to win anyways. I know Chaos Dragons hate Necro Valley. There's a lot of decks that just can't deal with Necro Valley. It annoys them. They can't really get off a lot of their combos. Heroes can't Miracle Fusion. There's just so much stuff that Necro Valley essentially stops. And if Necro Valley is not there, hey, at least you have Reborn, right? That's how I looked at it. Yes, it does kind of counter the deck, but this is my Gravekeeper deck. I did put some other cards, which I'll talk about later in the side if you want to play those instead of some of the cards in here. Then I played Double Duality because you generally special summon on your opponent's turn with Spy. Then 2 Royal Tribute, it's the most unfair card in Gravekeepers. It really is a card that really keeps them in the game, but if you activate this against Dark Worlds, you'll probably lose, but yeah, if you can get this first turn, go for it, and then you'll probably make your opponent rage. I don't blame anyone that rages against Royal Tribute. It is such an unfair card, especially when you go set Spy, set 3 cards, Royal Tribute. It's just like, and your opponent goes, wow, that was such a thoughtful play you did right there. But yeah, Royal Tribute is just one of those cards where if you open up with it and you can, activate it, you are really set up to at least get like an additional percentage on your chances to win. And then next up, for the traps, there's a lot of traps in here. In fact, I would play the double bottomless. I also play double compulse just because it allows you to kind of just again go for those games because like I mentioned earlier, if they activate 1 warning and then you you already have Necro Valley out and maybe you have a Starlight, you can really overextend. You can maybe like bounce back their monster, and then you can just go flip Spy, get like a Descendant or something like that, and then from there you can just special summon Dark Arm or Malefic Stardust Dragon, and then flip up a skill drain if you have Malefic Stardust Dragon, and then you just go for game. It really allows you to go for game. It's kind of strange, but Gravekeepers can just go 2000, 2000, 2000 directly because there's so much stuff that just stops your opponent from having anything on the field. So yeah, that is why I play the Dark Arm and Malefic Stardust Dragon. It allows me to OTK in Gravekeepers, kind of. It's more like an OTK after they activate 1 Solemn Warning. But yeah. That said, play Deep Prison. I think Deep Prison's good. I do like Compulse a lot, but sometimes against Dark Worlds, I don't really like to send back their graph. I like to just banish it forever. And then here's another tech card, Skill Drain. I feel like Gravekeepers, I mean, against certain decks, Skill Drain just wrecks them completely. And when you have Skill Drain with 2,000 beaters, and this becomes 21 under Necro Valley, and this is still 17. Yeah, I mean, and this effect resolves off the field anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing it really hurts pretty much is Descendant, because you're not going to go set Spy, set Skill Drain, they attack, change Skill Drain so you ruin your Spy. It's more like you're going to disrupt their play, and Spy is still 2,000 defense, so if you really need to stop their play, at least Spy will hold you there for a while. That's what I like about Skill Drain. I just like 1. It's just kind of a card where you activate and your opponent goes, what? Also Reborn, that's another card where they're like, why do you play that? And it's like, what, it's Reborn, it's a good card in my opinion. Then I play the Solemn Brigade, double Starlight Road, because I feel like this deck does like to set up a lot, and again, just the way I like to play Gravekeepers, I just like to set up for that Dark Armed or Malefic Stardust Dragon, and then like throw up a Skill Drain, and then just go for game, and then if they have a response, I get a Stardust out of it, and I win anyways. And then a double Torrential Tribute. The only thing about Torrential Tribute that I do not like, I don't like it when I have like Spy and then like they summon a monster that gets over Spy. I'm like, oh, it's not too bad because you can at least Spy and then go for Recruiter and kind of like stall out for a while. But what I really like about Torrential Tribute is with Recruiter, because if this card you control is sent to the graveyard, doesn't matter if it's destroyed by your own card effect, you get to just add one, and it's just pretty good. Also with Sangan, it's pretty good too. Now for the side deck, I was playing both of these cards. The thing was, I really favor running the Dark Armed. I know it sounds strange, but try it, and maybe you guys can test it out, see if you guys perhaps like Dark Armed as well. I think Dark Armed is a very good card. He's probably one of my favorite cards, and I just throw it in a lot of decks. But I mean, pretty much everything except for Commandant is dark. This is strange. He's an Earth. Like all of the Gravekeepers are all dark, but this one's like, no, it's Earth. There's also Guard, which is actually, is that not how I spell Guard? Keeper. Let me show you this card, because I do want to mention these other two cards that have some potential Gravekeepers. Where's Guard? Oh, there it is. So this one's pretty good. It's got 1900 defense. So these are cards basically that I will recommend to you. If you guys, don't like Dark Arm, hey, check out some of these cards, because I know Dark Arm is not for everyone in Gravekeepers. But I like Gravekeeper's Guard. It's pretty good. It's a flip effect, and with Necro Valley, he's 24, and you flip and you return one monster on your opponent's side of the field to its owner's hand. So this card's definitely pretty good. Also, the thing with Spy though is it special summons one monster, and you can't special summon that card and face down. I know I've seen a lot of people do that. It's just you special summon a monster with 1500 less attack from your deck, and you can't set the monster. So keep that in mind as well. I've seen people go, let me special summon this card to face down defense. If the card was supposed to special summon to face down defense, it would actually say it. So if you guys are new to Gravekeepers, don't try to go, let me flip Spy, let me get out another Spy, but let me put my Spy in face down. You can't do that. That would be amazing. This would make this card insane. But yeah, Gravekeeper's Guard, pretty good. Assailant, which I talked about earlier, but I really felt like I would just rather play like other cards. He isn't bad, don't get me wrong. I think he definitely has his use. And I think all the Gravekeepers are spellcasters. Most of them are. I think they all are. But yeah, basically Arcanite Magician is some card that you'll probably want in your extra deck, especially if you're going to play Birdman or Gale. But yeah, there's also Grandmole. Grandmole is just one of those great cards, but I opted to play more Darks because Dark Armed, right? Then there's Gale. I wish I had room to put in Gale, but I liked playing the Dark Arm. There's no room, and I love all my traps and spells in here. But yeah, Gale is just, it's a pretty good card. It allows you to go and make Armor Master. That's why Armor Master is here. I think Armor Master is a great card against certain decks. But the most important thing in your extra deck, I would say, definitely is Arcanite Magician. Other than that, I would recommend you playing this card over here. This is Wind Up Zen Meister. This card came out in a tin and got reprinted in Epic Battle Pack Epic Dawn. So it requires 2 level 4 monsters, which you can make relatively quick, and it gains 300 attack, but that's not what you use it for. What you use him for is once per turn, you can detach one material from this card to target one face-up monster you control, and change that face-up monster to face-down defense position. And if you do, during the end phase of this turn, change it to face-up attack position. So pretty good stuff. Because, flip and Spy face down, pretty good. It just allows you to have options. And you can just flip it immediately if Spy is already face up in attack position, you already got your plus off of it, and then somehow you get out multiple other monsters, you reset Spy, you can still flip Spy that turn, as long as it hasn't changed its battle position that turn. So you can really just net a lot of little quick advantage off of this. You can opt to play more of these, but I just personally feel like you only really need one. One card I will recommend you to play though is play Utopia and play Utopia Ray, just because you have extra room in your extra deck. I mean, if you want to play lots of things, you can. I do also play Livier. I mean, there's very few times that I'll be able to make it, but if you have a banished descendant that you just can get back, maybe if you want to reborn, and then you can make overlay because you want to reborn their Necro Guardian to make it game, or something like that, against any deck that requires something in the graveyard. Reborning someone's Hornet and overlaying with it is also pretty nasty. It does hurt Inzectors quite a bit because Hornet is at 1. So yeah, keep that in mind. Yeah, so if you guys don't I would say if you are just jumping into the deck, you might not want to play these two cards I'm mentioning at the very end. You might not want Monster Reborn, and you might not want Dark Armed Dragon. Personally, I really like those cards, but I will definitely recommend you to play the Birdman. It'll allow you to kind of understand the deck a little bit better, and you can really net a little bit of advantage off of this card, especially when you can go Spy, and then you can go... So let me just talk about some of the little things that you can do that net quick advantage. So you first turn you set Spy. You'll get out Descendant, or if you already have Descendant in your hand, you'll get out Recruiter. And then what you want to do is on the field you'll have Spy and Descendant, or Spy and Recruiter, and then you'll summon your Descendant, and then you'll tribute the Recruiter, and when you control and send it to the graveyard, you get to add one, so you get to add like another Recruiter, and then you get to pop one for free. Another really simple play with Birdman is you set Spy, flip Spy, you can get out another Spy if you wish, and then what you can do is you can special summon Birdman by returning one of the Spies to your hand, and then you can make Black Rose Dragon, and then you could reset Spy, and that really hurts a lot of decks. But keep in mind, Black Rose will be meaning you have to lose your field too. But if you do happen to open up with like too many monsters or something like that, that is a very decent play, because it lets you blow up the field, and then you already got the Spy for free, and then you get to reset Spy, and then they have to deal with a 2,000 beater, and then they lose their field. So it's really good to like reset the game. But GraveKeepers is a pretty slow deck, so keep that in mind. If you're looking for like a very fast-paced deck, I would not recommend this deck to you. But yeah, this is the deck profile for GraveKeepers, as well as just a little tips. I'm trying to think if there's really any other tips. I mean, the deck really has very linear plays. As a side note, when you activate this card, make sure you have Spy, and this is not an up to 2. You have to have 2. If you only have one GraveKeeper, you can't activate that. What else is there? Another note, this card is not dark. There has been times where I've seen people special summon Dark Armed. There's other people that also play Dark Armed. I'm just a fan of it. Other players will say, no, Dark Armed's bad on GraveKeepers because you can't use its effect under Necro Valley. But yeah, that said, keep in mind this card is Earth. It's not Dark. Other than that, this card's actually really good in this deck too, but I just wanted to play the Dark Armed because I like that card too much. But yeah, this is a deck for GraveKeepers. It is a good budget deck, and it is a relatively decently, I would say, yeah, it is definitely easy to play. I mean, there's not really any difficult plays or things you have to look out for. You could maybe not play Skill Drain if you want to just make it 40. I like Skill Drain because when you flip it up, your opponent is like, what? Skill Drain? Like, it hurts so much for certain decks. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.